Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about all the books I read in November. Now this month I read 8 books total, which is a lot. That was a lot of books for me because I feel like this year I have averaged maybe like 4 to 5 books a month, which is a lot less than last year, I will say. But this year, I feel like everybody just hit the slump. And I was a part of the slump. So, let's hop right in. I do not have any stats. Maybe I should keep track of my stats. Like how many contemporary romance, how many fiction, nonfiction. I will never read a nonfiction. So, the first book we're going to jump into, it is New Moon by, if you haven't known, Stephanie Meyer. This book I loved because Edward wasn't in it. No. I should have a reading vlog of me reading Eclipse and Breaking Dawn coming out next week. I don't know if it's just gonna be Eclipse. I don't know if Breaking Dawn is gonna get their own one. And then I also want to read the other 3 that were just randomly published. Like it's Midnight Sun, something else, one of the vampires that was an eclipse or something like that, I don't know, and some other one where like Bella is the vampire, comes from the vampire family, and Edward is the one that comes from being a human. Anyway, New Moon, I like this one because it was all about Bella and Jacob. I really felt like they should have been together. I feel like Jacob is he's just like the best friend, He's there when you need him. He's a dog. Oh my God. Is he the original Golden Retriever boyfriend? That's crazy. She is trying to live without Edward. Spoiler alert, Edward leaves. It'll be literally like first couple pages of New Moon. Edward leaves. She goes, lives her life miserably. Tries to do all this crazy stuff so she could hear Edward in her head so she could still be with him. Weird, so weird. But I feel like it was a good time. I gave it 4 stars. The next book I read, this book, oh my God. I bought it at Barnes & Noble like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, you know what? I am so sick of me buying books and just not reading them. They just stay on my shelves forever. Which is why I'm getting rid of Kindle Unlimited come the new year. I'm getting rid of Audible come the new year. I'm just focusing on the books I have. I need to get these down to 0 or 10 or 0. All right. Anyway, this book, If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This book, it is thick. All right. This is pretty thick for a romance book. It's like, 500 pages? But it went by so quickly. I love when books do that. This 100% got me out of my reading slump. It was so good. It was so cute. These two are so good together. Like, I love them. It was just 90s rom-com, takes place in the 90s. Normally when like TikTok recommends it, I'm kind of iffy. I'm like, I don't really know, because one time TikTok steered me very wrong. I haven't trusted it since. Steered me very wrong in the beginning of my reading journey, going back into it as an adult. So I've always been iffy about TikTok ever since then. But this book I did get. Actually, I got it from BookTube. Right here on BookTube is where I got the recommendation from it. Highly recommend. I mean, shoot, is it December? Yes. Should you still read it? Yeah. Like, it's just so good. It also, it takes place in December as well. It ends in like January. So, always that you could always read it. I gave this book 5 stars. This was the only 5-star in November. So really good. Absolutely amazing. I loved every single thing about it. It's about this girl and her mother passes away, but she owns an inn and she's leaving the inn to her sister, but her sister is still in art school for 1 more semester. So her sister and her dad is like, yeah, you should take over the inn until your sister can take it over full time. and then your sister will take it over full time, and she does not want to take over the inn. She wants to stay in Seattle in her big like corporate job that she's like worked her whole life for. But then who lives next door but the gorgeous single dad of 2 daughters who are really cute. I did not mind the kids in this book. Sometimes kids in a book, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, this is a romance. Crazy stuff's about to go down right now. Should they be here? But it wasn't bad because like they really formed bonds together. Like, I feel like it was just very good for the couple's growth as well as like the whole family's growth. Oh, it was just such a good book. I love this book so much. And then the dog in it, oh my god. There's like little inner monologues with dogs, with the dog Rocket. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I can't recommend this book enough. 5 stars. Mwah. The next book I'm going to talk about is For the Wolf by Hannah F. Witten. I do not have this book with me. I let my friend borrow it because I thought she might like it more than I did. I read it for my book club. It was not my favorite. It's supposed to be a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, but the writing, the story, it didn't capture me. Like, I remember reading it and just being like, this book is just not for me. Like, I'm reading the words on the page, but like nothing is going in, you know, like when that happens. And I was like, I wish I could just put it down and like save it for later, but like I'm reading it for my book club, so like I have to finish it this month. So I kind of just like pushed along. I didn't even end up finishing it during the time that I was supposed to. I finished it like a week after we met for book club and picked out a different book. So if that tells you anything, it wasn't for me. I feel like if you're into like this type of like, it gave off Carnival vibes, which I loved Carnival. I think I gave this book like 2.5 stars, I would say. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but people who like stuff like that probably would like it. It just wasn't for me. Next book we're going to talk about is the Shatter Me series. Now, I borrowed it on Hoopla. I'm holding up my Kindle so I can just hold it. I hate that Hoopla doesn't let you download things onto your Kindle. Sad, but it was okay because I read it on my iPad. Did I read it on my iPad? No, I do have the book. Hold on. The Shatter Me series by Tahir Mafi. I have a feeling I'm gonna love this series. This is about a girl, and I know probably everybody on BookTube knows what this book is about, but I did not. Okay, I've had this book on my shelves for like 2 years. Again, like I said, I really want to get through this TBR. I know I'm late to the game. I get it. I'm sad I'm late because I love it. I think I'm really, really, really gonna love this series. Like, I'm already not obsessed with it. I want to go that far, but like I'm really into it. Like, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I feel like Warner, I know he's the bad guy right now, but something about him, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I never like the obvious choice. I feel like even when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, my friend told me to read it because she's like, I love the series so much, you have to read it. I'm like, what's the deal with Rysand? Literally, first book, I said, what's the deal with Rysand? I'm like, why is he like that? Why does he take so much interest in Feyre? Why? Are we gonna end up loving him? And look at that, I was right. So Warner, I'm having that same feeling about Warner. I think I really like him a lot. I know he's the bad guy, but listen, let's just move on to the next book, because the next book I read was Destroy Me, which is Warner's point of view, and that made me really love him, because all the bad things he did in the first book, you know why. Like, you know why. If you don't want spoilers for this book, skip ahead until the time I put down here. I was thinking, oh my god, because in the beginning he kills one of his soldiers for giving food to like the people in the base. So basically, this is a dystopian book about this girl, what's her name? Juliet, and Warner and Adam. And Juliet and Adam find each other. They go to this base camp because it's a dystopian world. The world's falling apart. They're losing resources and all this other stuff. And basically everything. And Warner is the head of the military in their part of where they are. So his dad is like the head of the whole military, but he's like in charge of this like one district, I guess you could say. And then Juliet gets shipped to his district because Juliet has these powers where if she touches someone, they die. Or like she sucks the life force out of them, so they die slowly. But the only people who she can touch is Adam and Warner. And when Warner touched her, and I literally was like, oh my God, we're gonna fall in love with him. That's when I knew. When Warner touched her, and she was like, oh my God, he touched me and he's fine. That's when I knew we were gonna fall in love with him. Anyway, you find out that he does all this bad stuff, and it's because he wants to appease his father. His father does not like him at all, right? Which we find out in Destroy Me, which is his novella. You find out more about his life. He is an anxious man. He is an anxious man who just wants to do right in his father's eyes, but at the same time wants to do right by the world, and those things don't mix. They do not mix. And oh my gosh. So anyway, as I was saying, he goes to kill a soldier that was stealing food from the base camp and giving it to people like around, like civilians. Turns out that wasn't true. Turns out he was actually beating his family, and Warner goes around to all of the base camp and says, hey, how you doing, to like all the families around, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Goes up to this soldier's family. Turns out the soldier is beating his wife and his kids. And so Warner's like, that can't happen. So he makes up a story about how he steals food to look all big and macho and mean, like, yeah, you can't do anything around me. In reality, he's just trying to save these poor people. And so he kills that man for the safety of other people. But he doesn't want people to know that. He is a good man at heart. Oh my God, I love him. You know what? After I'm done filming this, I might just go read the next book in the series, because that book was a 4-star because it was a novella. I wish it was longer, but I feel like I'm in for a ride. Next book. I read this on Kindle Unlimited. I read the first 3 books in this series in the beginning of the year. I kind of liked them. Book number 3, I was like, what is this? I completely was just like, I don't want to read it anymore. Brutal Heart by Sophie Lark. I liked it until I didn't like it. Like, the story was good, the characters were good, but then I don't know, something weird happened. It is a dark romance and stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like if you're going to write a character, there's a character, his name is Damon, Dante, his name is Dante, and he's like the head of the Italian mafia in Chicago, with like, he's like next in line for the head of it because his father's the head of it. And he falls in love with this girl, Simone, and they have like this whirlwind relationship. And then again, if you don't want spoilers, skip. They have this whirlwind relationship, and then he goes and they get pregnant, and then they don't talk anymore. Because she's like, oh, he is dangerous. Like, he is a dangerous man. He commits murders. He kills people. He tries to be killed by other people. Like, people try to kill him because he's the head, second in line for the mafia. So she goes away and has the baby in London while he's in Chicago, and he doesn't know about the baby for 10 years. I feel like the author of these books a little tone deaf. I feel like the main female character is a black woman, and the main male character is a white man. And if you are a white woman writing a black woman and you say that I want to be his slave, that makes me look at you a little sideways. It makes me go, girl, did you mean to say that? I don't think you meant to say that. Are you sure you meant to say that? That's just weird to me. That was very weird to me. I read that and I said, what? That immediately took me out of it. I said, excuse me? It was like right like towards the end of the book. And I finished it. I was like, that was weird. That was just weird, right? And then and then I read reviews thinking to myself, that was weird, right? I'm not like reading it out of context or something, because like she's saying it in like a sexual way. It's like when they are having sex, but like you could have said anything else. She could have written any other word, but to have a black woman say that to a white man, I don't know. That was just a little weird to me. And then we go on to the 5th book. I am sad because I really like this book, but also I don't know if I could support this author anymore personally after that, because I kind of just like went right into it. I said, okay, 4. I said 5, and then I like really sat and thought about what I read, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I should, because 5 was really good. 5 was about another family's daughter. The Irish Mafia and the Italian Mafia in this series, they are now working together because the daughter of the Italian mobster and the son of the Irish mobster get married. Marriage of Convenience, first book. But now they're like friendly. Like they're friendly and they're family. So she has this thing happen to her where like someone tries to murder her in her pool in her apartment complex, and then Dante, his friend, is a bodyguard, and so he's like, I only trust one person with you that's not in our family, so he's gonna watch over you while like we figure out who's trying to like hurt you and stuff, right? So it's, you know, it's a bodyguard romance. I really liked it because it was really different from all her other books that she's ever written of what I've read in this series. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna read them anymore. Bloody Heart, I gave 2 stars. Broken Vow, I gave 3 stars. The last book I read was Attack on Titan Volume 4 by Hajime Asayama. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. This book, it's a continuation of the Attack on Titan manga. If you don't know what Attack on Titan is, you should watch the show, you should read the manga, you should just immerse yourself in this world, because it is unlike anything other. Like, I love this world so much. I've seen the entire show and I just wanted to read the manga. It's about these 3 kids, and they live in like a dystopian world where like civilization is like in this town, but they have like these 30 feet, like huge walls, like 50 feet walls that are like a skyscraper, but it goes like all around their entire town, and no one could go in or out, because on the outside there are these things called Titans, which are like huge, like 10-foot tall people that could eat you. And like they run incredibly fast, and they don't have like brains like you and I, until one day they do, and that's when the story pops off. But yeah, one day they invade the town, and then that's when the story just takes over, and I don't want to say anything else. But it's amazing. The storytelling, phenomenal. Everything about it is amazing. I gave this book a 4-star because it prolonged the plot. It wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like a character backstory or anything. It was just, la 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 type of thing. Those were the 8 books I read in the month of November. I think I had a good reading month. I hope. December is another good reading month. What day is today? Today's the 6th. I have not finished one book yet, but that's okay, because I'll get there. Shoot, I'll get there. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me.